Hello, I'm Falaba, and you're listening to the Alliance Guys Podcast. Bah! 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 Tough Love Tommy Hartfelt here. Just made my dog debut.
I know you care that you made this debut.
Oh! 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 Oh!
I'm Richard Holiday. That was my signature move. And you're watching the Alliance Guys Podcast.
I'm building an alliance.
Will you join us?
It's showtime.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
You're not here, you missing out, because this show...
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, listen up. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
It's time for the Alliance Guys Podcast.
What is up, everybody? Unfortunately, I am slow to make things happen, but we are here. We're here, guys. It's the Alliance Guys Podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. Joining me this week, the Alliance... Why does it keep bouncing? There it is. Joining me this week are my pals, my friends, my confidants. We got the promoter of IHWE, Mr. DKM's in the house. We have the solar-powered love machine, Jaden, in the house. And we have the professor of pro wrestling, Mr. Rick Del Santo, also in the house. Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
Awesome.
Tired.
Yeah.
Well, I can't rate
What a
all the
way
time.
to kick off the show, huh? Jeez.
Did you see that Richard Holiday promo?
I did.
That's nuts.
Oh, my God.
Starts with the jokes already.
You know, and I'm glad to have it. I'm glad to have them.
Yes.
Anyways, we do this little podcast thing every Thursday night, and we talk a little NWA wrestling. We talk about what's happening in the world of sport, pro wrestling, and there was a big event in New Jersey this afternoon for the kids. Can I call them kids? Students. That's that sounds better. The students over at Rowan. Help me out.
Rowan College at Burlington County.
There it is. I prefer Jaden to say it because I don't want to say it incorrectly. But yeah,
RCBC.
And that event is now online on the Dog YouTube channel, correct?
Yes. It was recorded live thanks to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. You could see it and watch the action. There was 5 championship matches. We even partnered up with a little bit with Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Alliance to make sure that their championship was defended. Top to bottom, there was some great wrestlers. In fact, there was only great professional wrestlers on this Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators event.
Interesting that you say it like that.
Only great professional wrestlers, highly talented individuals.
Sometimes you got to cut the fat. Literally, you got to cut the fat.
And you got to use a chainsaw and a wood chipper.
Bone saw.
Got one of those things we hook to a bucket that hooks to some kind of heavy machinery.
You'd need a bucket to carry him up. I just want to point out that we are being watched right now.
I watched you earlier, Alex Misery.
Yeah. Same.
We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but that was a pretty phenomenal match. I didn't know what we were going to get with Misery and Rich Swann. Obviously, it's a first-time matchup between the two of them for the NWA. It was Rich Swann's debut for the NWA, but I got to say it was a pretty good match, and even though Mr. Misery did not get the W, he looked really good in that bout. And I'm not just saying that because dudes in the chat and I think he knows where I live and has made thinly veiled threats at me. I genuinely think Alex Misery is a solid hand for the NWA, and I'm excited to see what's next for Misery. He's been, we had that really good outing at the Crockett Cup where him and Crazy Steve were in the ring as a tag team. Had never teamed before and looked really good. They lost. We had Misery, now wrestling against Rich Swann, a post Crockett Cup, his first match since the Crockett Cup, and again he lost, but he looked really good in that defeat. That's all. I'm just saying.
I don't want to give my opinions until we actually talk power.
Yeah,
kind of
so
same.
But I did,
Fair.
but I did enjoy the matchup, Mr. Misery, just for the record.
Yeah, just for the and Rick doesn't live anywhere near you.
Yeah, but
Alex.
I'm still, I mean, he could still find me. Like that stuff in the movies, they can just come out of nowhere. So
At least you've accepted your fate. I still yet have not done that. Anyways, so it was a very interesting week for the NWA. Again, there was some technical difficulties with Power getting up on time this week. So they ended up pointing to the on-demand content being available to the fans a little bit earlier than usual. Now, it's always up, right? They always have that content up on Tuesday morning, but this Tuesday it wasn't available. So it was kind of a weird
interesting.
set of circumstances. And then they made the announcement on their social media that they did not have the show available for the audience to watch. So that's just how it goes, I guess. The technical snafus. It's the first problem they've had since they've been on Roku in terms of getting the content out on time. But nevertheless, it was a pretty solid episode of Power. We've got some more matches announced for Saul Wynn. DK has a ticket updates for Saul Wynn. Our good friend James H. Jackson has been handling us some information. So we'll talk about that in just a few moments too. And of course, we're going to recap Power and talk about Alex, the Misery Effect. Do you mean that you're the reason why the show was delayed on Roku this week? I hope not. I don't think Billy would be too thrilled with that. Anyways, but I feel like this was, this week's Power. We'll talk more about it momentarily, but I don't feel it was as good as Power has been the last few weeks, and I don't put that on Alex Misery whatsoever. But I just feel there's some parts of the show that just, I don't know, it didn't connect with me. But we don't need to stand on shoulders here. We could just talk about the show. Is that all right with you, fellas?
No.
That's fine.
Oh man.
Real quick, shout out to my child who's now watching on TikTok. What's up, Axolotl Kid?
Does she have an axolotl mask? Because I know I bet you two now also by now. I know a mask guy that could probably make one.
No, she doesn't have one, and it would be kind of cool if we got one for her. But no, we don't. She doesn't have one currently.
Pink with the little flappy things.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen one actually in the past, but not like a lucha mask. But yeah, I think she's excited by that idea. She just typed OMG. All right.
It just makes sense. If we're going to call her the Axolotl Kid, she's got to go full gimmick.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, she's got that. She just put surprised. What's up, Yahtzee? I'm also talking to our folks watching on TikTok, but we're streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. If you want to join the conversation, being on YouTube is probably the best way because we can see your comments that pop right up on the screen. We can put them up on the screen, but we'll watch you anywhere and any place. So Axolotl Kid says, please. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Jade, we'll talk about that offline. But this week's Power, a lot of matches. Maybe too many matches. I mean, we got the Crockett Cup and it was like 2 to 3. It was 3 matches up until the last 2 weeks, and then we got 2 matches each with a lot of filler. I'm not saying that's the right formula. I think there's a common ground between 2 matches and 5 matches, and somehow they need to figure out how to get to the get that sweet spot in it. But we'll start off with the revenge of Eric Smalls. Eric Smalls, as we remember just a few weeks ago on the Crockett Cup, during the matchup where the Murdochs, the tag team champions, could not put away the eventual Crockett Cup winners in the Immortals. Trevor got really frustrated during the match, started choking out Kratos with a handkerchief, and was really kind of getting into choking out Kratos. And at some point, Eric Smalls tried to get involved and said, "Hey, stop! You can't do this. Don't stop doing this." And for his benefit, for his trouble, the team of Murdochs just beat the living crap out of Eric Smalls. We saw him last week on TV saying he had to explain to his kids while Uncle Trevor and Uncle Mike beat him up and put him in the hospital. So this week he came back with vengeance and brought his own tag team, the Cloud9 Cowboys, a team we've only seen in the NWA once before as part of the Crockett Cup during the David Crockett Invitational Tournament. I wanted to know a little bit more about these guys before I watched the match, so I did a short little dive on them. Both these guys are based in the Maryland area.
Was that an Eric Smalls joke?
Maybe. We'll see. Ty Awesome sometimes goes by Tyler Hastings. He's a product of the Briscoes. He was trained by the Briscoe brothers, both Mark and Jay. He's been wrestling for about 11 years. Sean Carlson, also known as the Ranch Hand Carlson, was trained by Mark Harrow. Like I said, they first appeared for the NWA at the Crockett Cup. And this match was supposed to be payback for Smalls, but it didn't go that way. And one thing that I found very interesting about this is this match was taped before the Crockett Cup aired, and the fans were already booing Murdochs. And I'm like, did they smarten the fan base up that was there live? Like, hey, these guys are bad now, so make sure to boo them, because up until that moment, up until Crockett Cup, Murdochs were revered as, the good guys. They were the champions, and people revered Trevor and Mike. And to have them boo without really, us knowing, through the fourth wall, knowing that they turned on their manager at Crockett Cup, the local audience that was there in Tampa hadn't seen that yet. So that was kind of interesting to me. This match was just an ass whooping. And I guess that's what it was supposed to be for. It's like almost like a tune-up match for Murdochs. And there was no payback for Smalls. They win with the high-low. One of the best-selling high-lows I've ever seen, where the guy literally did a flip afterwards. It was pretty good. But it was just this was kind of a throwaway match as far as I was concerned. And I would love to hear your guys' opinion. We'll start off first with you, Jaden. What did you think of this match?
Well, Ty Awesome wrestles a lot in New Jersey. For a while, he was the flavor of the month. Smaller guy, bumps well, and he was the perfect one to take that finish. I just could not buy into them. It would be fine if it was just them versus Murdochs, but Eric Smalls picking them to be his revenge, I think he just needs to learn his shortcomings. And that's where the match fell apart for me, because there was no way anybody believed that they were going to beat Murdochs. They just did not have that. And why would you bring them as your revenge? What are you, poor, Eric Smalls? Does Billy Corgan not pay you? Does he pay you in short ribs?
Oh my God, short ribs sounds delicious right now.
Yes, it really does. But it did. There was no reason you would use them as your revenge. They should have just been a straight up squash match. And then DK brought up a good possibility. I can't remember their names now, but the former Exodus Pro Tag Team Champions, the two big African American gentlemen, they could have been brought in to be in the revenge, or the Stew Crew, or maybe Eric Smalls paying Damian Sandow to use blunt force trauma or something like that.
Yeah.
Aaron Stevens, that should have been his revenge.
I agree. What did you think about this match, DK?
For a squash match, it was fine. For Eric Smalls looking for revenge, it made no sense. And so, which one of those do you want to judge it on?
Let's judge it on the latter.
There was a ladder in that match?
What
Well,
Smalls standing on?
Eric Smalls needed. On the idea of Eric Smalls wanting revenge, it was kind of a stupid, useless little match, which was made worse by the challenge Smalls laid out afterwards. So I didn't get into it.
How about you, Rick?
Okay. DK, basically what he said, the closing statement of his, I could not get into it. To me, these two gentlemen were just not convincing whatsoever. To me, they're also kind of just like two nobodies in the NWA, only having made one appearance prior. So, I really don't remember them from the Crockett Cup at all. They're just two kind of plain looking dudes. So I was just, who the hell are these guys? And then I realized what was going on, and there was nothing to this for me. It should have, it's just, it was very bland, nothing exciting about it. It just, wasn't enjoyable at all.
I kind of agree. Like, again, had it been set up as just a match for showcase, then that would have been a different story. But these guys, Jaden said it the most eloquently. Like this wasn't them. This wasn't the right team. This was not absolutely the right team. So I guess we'll just move on from that because there's not a lot more to say. The post match, of course, Smalls challenges both Murdochs to a matchup, and I'm just thinking like, this is what.
And that
what
was just
here?
ridiculous. Yeah, that was just ridiculous. Like he has a snowball's chance in hell against these two monsters being him, and you know what I'm saying? I was just at this point, I sat here watching this, and I know we're only this far into the show, and I was just like, this isn't going to be a good show. I just had that feeling right from the get-go with that match, after match, and that post-match post-match promo by that Smalls cut.
I understand the storyline of Smalls wanting to get revenge, and I understand him wanting to, because he got beat up, and like, any one of us, if two dudes beat us up, we would want to get our revenge too. But obviously, this dude kicked you. These guys kicked your ass, and let's be honest, you are a little person, and they are not little people. They are they're big.
Gonna do it again, yeah,
all over. Yeah, we're gonna get the same result. So
exactly.
To have that challenge, and then later the match, I just felt that was dumb. I didn't think that was a great idea. So
the only way I would have bought into Eric Smalls showing up is if he used a flamethrower, or I guess in his case it would have been a Bic lighter.
Oh my god. Yeah, that would have been something. Then the next match, well, I guess the next segment in the show is the skit. Oh god, these are so hard to watch. Like, I really want to celebrate how good the NWA is and can be, and the potential, and then they throw stupid shit like this on the camera, and it's like, what are we doing, guys? Like, this is not it. This is definitely not it. We've got Mike Mondo walking in, and he's pissed, and he's screaming at they them, and I mean that in the most respectful way I can say it. We've seen both of those people before working at the Uncle Thrillbilly's bar in Tennessee. Now they're working at GameStop in Tampa, and he's screaming at these two employees who, between giggling, look terrified, and it's just the worst. It's the worst acting I've seen, and I've even been in a high school play, so it was just pretty terrible. Finally, the employees give up the fact that the producer of the show, the director of the show, Billy, not to be confused with Billy Corgan, Billy Trask, is now going by the name of Mel, and he's the boss, and it's just weird. And then he comes in with Tiffany Nieves and the conflict resolution guy, and it appears like they went on a date, the three of them. I don't know which conclusions I'm supposed to jump to here. It just Like, what are we doing? Like, we look at Tiffany
This is
Nieves.
this is where
Go
they
ahead.
need to stop with this stuff, because this is just, these were probably some of the worst skits out of any of them that I've seen, and you know what I mean. And it just, like you said, it's angering to watch it, to watch this, especially as like supposed to be watching wrestling. Why isn't there a interview going on right now? Instead, they're just doing this stupid skit that's just going to anger the viewers that are watching. It's just stupid.
And like, what is it going to lead to? Because like, what it came to was Mondo was yelling at Tiffany, and Tiffany's yelling at Mondo, and it's like, they're not going to wrestle. They don't have any kind of thing. We're not going to see Mel in the ring. Oh, swear to God, we better not get Mel in the ring. We better not get the conflict resolution guy in the ring. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Mondo was calling him the content resolution guy. And I'm like, wait, he's not even calling him by the right name. This was terrible. And I don't think this was the best use of Mondo. It makes him look stupid. It makes Tiffany Nieves look like a floozy. I don't know, man. This kind of shit just didn't do it for me.
Mondo is not good at acting by any stretch in this skit. Neither was any of the other people, because scared, them being scared, it looked like one of them couldn't hold a straight face, or the scared face, because it kind of looked like they were kind of, the laughter was starting to seep out, and I'm just like, this is effing annoying. Like, it really is. But
DK, do you have any 2 cents you would like to add?
Yes, I absolutely loved it, because I hit the fast forward button and didn't watch any of it.
That's probably that should, be my solution each and every week to save my sanity, but I don't. And unfortunately, I end up sitting here and have something to complain about when I come here on Thursday nights.
Jaden, your thoughts?
I joined DK with the fast forward button.
Well, good for
you. I think I actually even do that. I think I just literally moved over until I saw something and just went there.
Well, good for both of you. Sorry, Rick, that you and I did it.
It's our dedication.
Yeah. Noob says NWA skits are poor imitations of Mad TV, SNL, or In Living Color. Remember those shows, everyone?
That's not
even a bad imitation of Glow. What are you talking about?
There it is.
That's what the NWA is becoming with all these skits in between. I mean,
look, they could literally hire Dave. What's his name?
Dave McClain.
Yeah, I mean, Dave McClain's working for WoW. I mean, they could cross over and just bring it all together. We could have just one big happy family.
Why not? I mean, I thought that it was going to go that direction with the Wrestling Central channel, that have them do some combined things or whatever. I mean, Dave McClain is sometimes crappy as some of his products are. He's kind of a genius in some ways as well, with having had a wrestling career for over 40 years, almost 50 years. So
I would say this, and we'll move back on to Power in just a second, but I only see positives for bringing in some WoW talent and bringing NWA talent to cross promote between the two promotions. I don't see a single negative about that, but I'm not a wrestling promoter.
Billy's booking.
Huh?
At this point, go ahead.
I was going to say single negative. Billy's booking.
Yeah, but Billy's booking is going to be Billy's booking no matter what, right? I mean,
yes, but it's not going to help Powwow, ShamWow, and it's not going to help the National Wrestling Alliance. National Wrestling Alliance is now doing their version of skits. They're the brutal wrestlers of NWA wrestling. They're all champions in the ring.
Oh my God! Why
we need Billy Corgan rap.
Did you look that up before, or did you have that memorized?
It's the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. We're all champions in the ring.
Shame on you. It's terrible.
I loved Hollywood, and Tina Moretti Ferrari was pretty cute back then too. Later became Ivory.
Did I ever tell you the story about Hollywood?
Yes.
Okay. Then we'll move on because I don't know if my kid's in the chat or not. Anyways, next up we have the first match the second match of the night. Rich Swann versus Misery for the #1 contendership for the World Junior Heavyweight title. This match I was very much looking forward to. Swan's debut for Billy's NWA. I also wanted to note that Rich Swann used to compete regularly for the NWA Florida Underground Wrestling Group back in 2013 and through 2015. He even held their Flash title, which is kind of like the equivalent of the X Division title for them. It was a very impressive victory for Rich Swann, and it was also a really solid outing for Misery, because it wasn't just wham, bam, thank you, man. Misery just didn't lay down for Swann. Swann had to earn it. Swann had to do a frog splash. He had to hit out that swan dive. And, I mean, it took something to beat Misery. He didn't just roll over for him, which I was happy to see. And this was probably one of the most competitive matches we saw all night. I won't wait. First, we'll go with DKM. Your thoughts on this matchup?
I paid special attention to this matchup because I mean, obviously the result wasn't in doubt, but I really wanted to see how Misery and Swann, a former Impact or TNA or something world champion, how they meshed together. And, of course, the match is my type of match, a lot of floppy stuff. But I was able to enjoy it for what it was. I thought Misery looked really good. I thought they did a good job of making Misery look relevant even in defeat.
Yeah.
So overall, I would give the match here probably an A in being able to accomplish what it needed to accomplish.
I'm all right with that. Then we'll go to Rick. What was your opinion on this one?
In my piece I wrote for the Pro Wrestling Wire, I had said that this was the highlight of the entire week, out of the entire hour. The best thing that was going. Alex Misery looked great. Rich Swann looked great. This was a fun match. Similar to DK, this is not traditionally my style of match with all the flippy dippy stuff, but I thought it was phenomenal. Excuse me, if I can pronounce it right. Phenomenal. And Alex Misery, if you're still in the chat, very good. Great match. I loved it.
So there you go. Jaden, your 2 cents on this one.
First, I start off, I like your Muppets reference, Jay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I actually very much enjoyed the match. Again, it's not my style of wrestling. And, I like, it looks like Alex Misery put on a little bit of muscle.
Yeah.
So I like that too. He started to fill out. He was a little skinnier, I swear, at the Crockett Cup. I don't know if he's on that Mike Mondo diet, but I did put on a little bit of muscle. The match, I enjoyed it. Swann, I think actually, Misery looked taller than Swann. Was I mistaken?
Yeah. No, I think he is.
Okay. I liked it. I think the fans liked it. I think the internet fans would have liked it. And I think it wasn't embarrassing like a lot of those high flippy, dippy, high flying matches tend to be. It wasn't.
It made sense.
I know
what you're saying. Like
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I did. I do like it, and I think that was the right thing. I actually, though, I really want to see, as much as I enjoyed that match in the junior heavyweight division, I really want to see Misery and Crazy Steve become an established tag team and get some tag team wins under their belt and maybe wrestle the Southern Six or the Country Gentlemen or somebody for the United States Tag Team Championship.
Right.
They got some good undercard tag teams when Billy isn't breaking them up. And I'd like to see them more as a tag team. I like their conflict of styles, and I think Crazy Steve's experience could rub off well on Alex Misery. And I think because the chemistry was there almost immediately from the first time they appeared. If they really work together, I think they could be the next tag team. And I'd like to see that match. And there's some opponents I'd like to see them against. I'd like to see them against the Southern Gentlemen. I'd like to see them against the Southern Six. I'd like to see them against, and I never thought I'd say this, the Slimeballs. So I enjoyed that. I'm glad he was able to showcase his talent. I'm glad people are now paying attention to him. And now now that they're paying attention to him, it's a good chance for him and Crazy Steve to become a legitimate tag team and move up that tag team ladder.
I thought it was a pretty good, I know we all kind of already said it. Everyone said, it's not your kind of match. Well, this is right up my alley. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy the most, which is kind of funny because I'm an NWA traditionalist, but I love like the high-flying, risk-taking wrestling. So that was it for me. And I felt like both these guys really put on a good show, and it just opens up the window for me to see. I want more Misery. I want to see more opportunities for him, and I don't care if it's teaming with Crazy Steve or in the junior heavyweight division. And he said, hey, why not both? And
because we are against that, because it means you can't defend the belts both. It means you'll have one belt not defended for like 9 months. That's why.
And the way that the TV schedule taping is, it is very much you get one or the other. We know right now with this set of TV tapings, Valentina Rossi was out of the country. And so when they recorded those matches, we did get a Tiffany Nieves title defense. In fact, that's later tonight. But we didn't get a women's tag team match on Powerrr. And, for the TV tapings in the Tampa studios, they don't necessarily have to have all of those matches make TV. Not every match on TV needs to be a title match. But, when it comes to the signature live events, they should have all the titles defended on those cards. So at least that's my 2 cents. Let's move on.
Real quick, the reason that was in your alley is because your mind's in the gutter.
Okay.
All right.
All right, now go ahead.
That was funny.
It was. I was trying to no sell it though to make it funnier.
Your part didn't work.
Yeah, you did the same thing when I send you dad jokes.
I use your dad jokes like all the time.
Yes, and you make them less funny.
Man. Hey, we're gonna have an opening for an Alliance guy. Jaden's handing in his resignation tonight, I guess.
Don't make me get Richard Holiday to change your outlook.
Hey, I will. If he does it, I'll dress up like Kevin Owens and we'll make it a thing on the internet.
I'll make it happen.
Let's go. I can.
Dr. T. You've done it before?
I've done it several times. Carson Drake is in the back, and it almost feels like he's getting talked down to by Aaron Stevens.
I wouldn't say almost. This is definitely.
He was dressing him down, right?
Yeah.
There goes. Hey, Alex Misery, look, I got a picture of our pal. I don't know if he's still in the chat. We talked about you for a few minutes. Anyways, sorry. So Carson Drake is getting what's the expression? Dressed down? Is that it?
I say you're getting treated like a bitch.
Okay, we'll go with that. He was getting bitched out by Mr. Aaron Stevens, telling him that he's, what was funny about it is Carson Drake did beat Max the Impaler to become TV champion. He did hold that TV title for did hold it for enough time to cash in the Lucky 7 to challenge against Tom Latimer. It's not like he won the title and lost it immediately. It's not like he was a nobody who's never done nothing. And Stevens is talking to him like he, his first year rookie in the NWA. So it was kind of interesting from that standpoint. Drake wasn't having it. Drake actually said, he's like, you got 24 hours to determine whether you want me to manage you or not. And he's like, I don't need 24 hours. No. This is a kind of best Carson Drake I've seen ever. I thought this was an excellent promo for Carson Drake to kind of step out of the shadow. I just don't know why we had this for weeks if that was going to be the end result. Jaden, what did you think of this one? Did you fast forward?
I think no. I actually, for some reason, I watched it. And I don't know why. I think Samuel L. Jackson was playing Guess Who, and he goes, "Does he look like a bitch?" And then the camera went on to CBD Carson Bartholomew Drake. That's what I think. I think he was just made it look like a bitch. Then his little no didn't really help him, and I hated it. And it was a waste of time. And they should just start doing promos.
Yeah, no, I agree. It would have been better, I think, if Kyle Davis was just interviewing Carson Drake or whatever. But yep.
Okay, what do you think, Rick?
No, it's
This
DK.
sucked. Oh, DK. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's all
I'll
good.
just say it again when it's my turn. So.
So you want my opinion on the thing with Aaron Stevens and Carson Bartholomew Drake or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
Carson Beta Alanine Drake, yes.
Yes. I fast forwarded.
Fair enough.
See, I already knew that was coming. That's
DK's
why I
got
went
the
to Rick.
best. You got the best solutions. No, this whole thing was just annoying. It sucked. I mean, it basically Aaron Stevens talking about all his accomplishments, including going to WWE, blah blah blah, without saying using WWE, all that stuff, his accomplishments and stuff, and what have you accomplished type stuff, and it's just ridiculous. Didn't care for it, and he just what's his name? Drake just kept nodding with a shit-eating grin on his face, and then gave his answer. Like I said, these skits are giving me more and more of a headache each week. They're not getting any better. They seemed a little bit more tolerable for a little bit, but they're getting back there, man. I'm telling you. So this was
I
not
think that was
enjoyable.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, this is not enjoyable. I'm gonna start doing what these guys do, fast forwarding through this crap.
Who did you ever beat? Sorry.
Well, I guess
have
I'll
that
be
shirt.
the one that suffers through it alone. That's fine. I can do it.
Or get
Okay.
smart, fast forward through it.
You get to make the big bucks on this YouTube money.
But then I can't make fun of it. When I come through each week. So
Well,
if I fast forward through.
you still can. You could just lie about
Yeah.
it. Oh yeah, it was terrible. We'll get to Impact. We'll get to that in a little bit. But my short answer is maybe. Jam and Music Man, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for hanging out. Also want to shout out to WrestleRant, who's checking us out on TikTok. Thank you for hanging out with us too. So yeah, that brings us to the next segment where we have the boys in the back. Murdoch's trying to figure out who's going to face Smalls. Rock, paper, scissors, and they're so linked up in the mind, man, that they just they couldn't figure out who would face Smalls. So again, we'll just skip through that because I already know it wasn't very good. Then that takes us to the actual match of Smalls versus either member of Murdoch's. They're still trying to figure it out, wasting precious TV time. And that's from Billy Corgan's mouth. They're wasting TV time.
So is Billy's voice, but
yeah, well, it's close. But yeah, I mean, like he's even saying it, what we're all thinking, but he's the one that booked this. And it's like, hey, Billy, if you don't like stupid shit on your TV, book better. Because this was dumb.
I think sometimes it's too late, and then he doesn't understand. He complains while he's on commentary unknowingly that he's like, what is this shit? And then he realizes that it was him that booked it.
Could you?
Am I wrong? Maybe
you're right. Look, it pissed Jane off so much he just bailed.
He just took off. He can't stand it. But yeah, dude, it's like it just constantly happens each and every week, and then there's no way in hell somebody could watch this and be like, "This is great shit." I mean, seriously, and we're lifelong NWA fans, and we're sitting here like, "This is complete garbage."
And I think that's the thing, which I think, look, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I think that's what makes us special is that we're able to come out and say, hey, look, this wasn't great. And we don't sugarcoat shit on this show. If we think it was bad, we'll be the first ones to tell you. And if we think it's good, we'll say that too. And this just wasn't good. It wasn't good. And anyways, I'm getting a little off track here. This match didn't even happen because as soon as the bout was about to happen, Knox. That's hard to say for some reason. Knox shoves the referee to the ground, and then proceeds to get admonished by the referee. I think it wasn't Scott Wheeler; it was the other one. And then you see, and then Knox just kind of dives on top of Smalls, and they literally beat the crap out of him. So This again was another like repeat from the Crockett Cup. I think we could have done without it. It didn't make for interesting television. It didn't make anybody a bigger star because of it. It didn't make Smalls more sympathetic. It made him seem more stupid because he's the one that decided to jump in and challenge this. So, Rick, I mean, do you have anything else you want to add to that? Did I pretty much
Absolutely.
cover it?
No, nothing. Nothing. No, thank
DK,
you.
what did you think about this?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes?
Yes.
No.
Can you elaborate on your yes?
Not yes. I said guess.
Oh,
Guess.
He fast forwarded.
you fast
There
forwarded.
you go.
Well,
Seriously, I fast forwarded the stuff in the back. I fast forwarded the thing in the most of the thing up until the referee got knocked down, and then I watched long enough to see what's Billy going to do about this. Not a damn thing.
Nope.
And so he castrated himself, and we all got to watch it. And it wasn't fun, and it wasn't pleasant. But just to go back, and then I fast forwarded again because I didn't really care to see them beat up Smalls again. But I want to tune in on something you said, about us being honest. And I think that's one thing that anybody who's out there watching the show can count on. When I say I give Misery and Swan an A, even though it's not my type of match, then I was impressed with it. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, or whatever, doesn't matter. You know that I did. I did enjoy the match. I did think it was good. I did think certainly the best thing they've had this week from this taping so far. So there's not a question of that. The NWA have been on a long stretch of pretty solid episodes, and I would say this one overall fell just below the solid. It's more of a not very good show than it was a solid episode, and this was a big reason why. So, again, we watched Billy castrate himself on this particular thing. It made no sense. He couldn't explain it. He didn't do anything when the guys were going against his rules other than whining about them wasting time. Okay, go away now.
Yeah.
This just a lot of the matches, if I may say so, before we move on, it just seemed like it was thrown together, just 4 random matches. It seemed like they just chose. We have these 4 left over from the taping. I guess makes an hour, and let's create some shitty content to go in between it. So, and that's exactly how I felt about this episode. And going forward, I cared less and less about the show as it was watching, and I guess that kind of predicts how. I guess I'm kind of spoiling that as we're going on, but that's just how I felt as the rest of the hour was going on. I didn't even realize. I thought it had already been an hour by the time this happened, and I still had 2 more matches to go.
Yeah.
So,
Willie Bowen, sometimes the voice of reason for this podcast, says should abort the stupid skits, concentrate on more of the wrestling in the ring. I mean, I think
makes the most sense.
Yeah. No one here would argue with you on that one, Mr. Willie Bowen. Not one soul. Speaking of dumb segments and skits, next up we have the Benefactor segment. I think I could spend more time talking about something else than wasting our time on this. So, gentlemen, if you'll indulge me, I'll just skip this one.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, we don't have to talk about any of the segments. Unless you just want to hear me say the same thing over and over.
Well, you know what it is I want to, because we're painting a picture here, right? We're telling
Yes.
we are, whether they want us to be or not, we are the ambassadors for the National Wrestling Alliance. Every time we come onto this podcast, whether they like it or not, whether Billy likes it or not, we are the ambassadors of the NWA. And so when it is good and we declare it good and we are all celebrating how great the NWA has come since hard times, like, it's legit. It's genuine, just like what DK said earlier. Like, when he says something's good, he's not blowing smoke up anyone's ass. But at the same time, like, I feel like we have a responsibility to say, hey, it's not all good. This is something that is problematic for the show. If I'm turning on Roku looking for pro wrestling, because that's what it says on the advertisement, the National Wrestling Alliance, I shouldn't have to be inundated with stupid ass skits. I shouldn't have to see moments like this where, what are we doing? Like, why is there so much attention on Tommy Henry anyways? The guy doesn't wrestle.
This one, oh my God, this skit. I was trying to remember what skit you were referring to. This was probably, I don't know if this was more annoying than the Aaron Stevens and Carson Drake one or not. This was, oh God. Yeah, this was bad, dude. Like, seriously, I don't know.
And the thing is, it's like, okay, because Aaron Stevens shows up, Tommy Henry gets a bug up his butt, and he's like, no, I'm leaving. No, we're out of here. I could smell a rat. And it didn't make any sense. It was stupid. It was dumb. And a waste of our time. Why I would have much rather had Mae Valentine in the back interviewing one of the talents about an upcoming match where she inadvertently says something very intelligent, and we're all like, damn, she's actually knows what she's talking about.
No, she was way more talented than any of this shit that's going on in between matches. And I'm being 100% right now. Like, serious.
She would have said something like, so Natalia Markova, you want a match with Kenzie Page, but you failed to beat Kenzie Page when you faced her the last time. What are your thoughts on that? And we would all been like, damn, got your head, fool. In the meantime, we have this, and I wasn't very interested in it. And again, if they're setting up some sort of $1 million man gimmick with this whole thing, like, okay. But, like, can we have done that in 2 weeks instead of now this is week 4 and it's no closer to being finished than it was when it started? Stupid, wasted time. The next thing we had, Jaden, you brought something on the screen. Should I play it now?
No, I just brought it in because I realized it wasn't there when I got booted off, so guess for later.
Got it. Okay. So then that takes us to the Tom Latimer in the back. And you guys know I like Tom Latimer too, right? Like, that's not something that we have to debate about, right?
I'm a big fan as well. So, I mean... Yeah.
I felt like someone should have directed him a little bit better on this promo, on this segment. Like, he's talking about Silas Mason has to get in the back of the line. It almost sounded like he was hinting that Colby Carino should be the next guy to challenge for the world title, because he explicitly had mentioned the Jack Stane Memorial tournament that was supposed to crown a new number 1 contender. And I don't know, man. It made me feel like Tom Latimer was scared of Silas Mason, and Tom has been the guy that's taken on all challengers. Tom is the baby face in all this, and he felt very heelish in this commentary. Rick, what did you think about this one?
Honestly, like you said, it seemed like it needed more direction. I mean, I'm a huge Tom fan, and at one point I just felt like he was kind of rambling at one point. And I was like, this needs to stop. Like, this needs to be over. So then I just kind of stopped paying attention. Like, I just continued on with my work. I was just, I was watching it while I was working, and I was more interested in shuffling papers than listening to Tom ramble. So I just gave up on it after, a little bit. And I wish that it had made more sense, because I really do love Tom. I think he's great in ring. He can cut a promo when he tries hard to do it, but today it just was not convincing by any stretch. It was just more annoying than anything.
Yeah. And you normally when Tom shows up, I mean, it's better, and this just wasn't very good. DK, what did you think about this one?
Well,
did you watch it?
Yes, I did watch it. I kind of regretted watching it, but I did watch it. Well, of course, the very first thing I noticed is that belt is getting ugly, 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 and they need to replace it.
And by replace it, you mean shine it up and clean it up, right?
Well, it looks like some of the, gold is just coming off of it, the plating. And certainly some of the black paint has come off in the one area. And you could see some scratches and stuff. So, yeah, they either need to send it somewhere to get probably replated and repainted, or, just if you're still working with whoever made it, fondue, cheese melts, whatever they're called, then, get another one. They don't do the advertisements for them anymore, so I don't know if there's still any connection between them. But really, at least 3 of the belts need to be replaced and kind of made new again. So, and that's definitely one of them. As for the actual promo itself, yeah, I didn't get into it. It didn't work for me. It's like I understood what he was trying to say, but in some ways it almost came across as criticism of how Billy's book stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like you're talking about, he goes back to the Jack Stain thing, and it's like, you lost in the first round. But at least he lost to the eventual winner.
Yeah.
And, and then talking about Crino and getting shot. Well, he was inserted into the match with Rhino so that somebody could lose. And I don't know. It just, it was a bit pitchy, dog.
I get the reference.
If you don't know where that's from, deal with it.
I was about to say, is that my cue?
Yes.
Yeah. Please.
I was eating Rice Krispies at the time, so honestly, it was on in the background, but I was hearing snap, crackling, popping, and for a change, it wasn't my knees.
That's funny.
Not too bad then.
So that I really didn't listen to it enough to give an honest opinion, even though it was on in the background.
All right. Well, there you go. I again disappointed. Tom is better than that. I don't need Tom to be Nick Aldis. I'm not asking for that. But Tom held the World Heavyweight Championship for almost a year and took on all comers, and he should be treated as such. He should be treated as somebody who is not an afterthought, but somebody who is a threat at all times. And
he almost has the opposite problem with Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
If Nick Aldis was overexposed, and man, was he overexposed.
Yes.
Tom
also
Latimer.
He worked very hard. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Tom Latimer hasn't been seen enough. So
yeah.
I agree with all of that. Let's move on. The next thing was the Tiffany Nieves versus Aaliyah James match. Now, this was, again, different. Not bad, not necessarily good, different. We haven't seen the women's television title on TV in a while. I think the last time we saw it was when Tiffany Nieves won it, to be quite honest. And so they brought in Aaliyah James, who now lives stateside, or at least she's been wrestling stateside for the last 2 years, but is a former WWE developmental talent for NXT UK. She was trained at the London School of Lucha Libre. She's worked for RevPro in London and our friends over at Fight Nation. So I was excited to see, somebody of her stature get an opportunity in the NWA. This was 4 minutes of Tiffany Nieves beating the ever-living shit out of this chick. Bottom line, 4 minutes of Tiffany Nieves exerting her will, being a dominant television champion, where then we got about 15 to 30 seconds of Aaliyah James trying to score a pinfall out of nowhere. And that made me a little nervous for the champ. I thought oh, damn, she's going to pull it out because she was getting these near falls, and I thought maybe she's going to steal one. But no, Nieves countered, got into her version of the Texas Cloverleaf, and got the tap out victory before time ran out. It showed you just how badass Tiffany Nieves is. I feel like it kind of wasted a little bit of the talent that Aaliyah James had. I thought she looked good. She sold like a champ, but she was just there as cannon fodder, and I thought she would have more of a back and forth match. Jaden, what did you think of this one? What did you think of Aaliyah James?
I'm trying to remember who she was on NXT.
She was Aaliyah James on NXT. She was in NXT UK.
Okay. I was say I don't remember seeing her on that. That's why I didn't really watch the NXT UK.
Okay.
She looked fine. Both her and Tiffany looked like wrestlers, which I think is a good sign. She wasn't overly skinny and thin, which didn't look like a lot of women wrestlers have a tendency to be that way, where they just look like they can be fragile and break. And Tiffany Nieves can break somebody if she wants to. Some people pay big money for that.
La Princesa.
Yeah, I'm talking about you, big Chris dog. And but yeah, no, I thought it was okay. It was a squash, and it was over short. Honestly, it's the only thing short I was impressed with in this entire card.
All right, DK, I would love to hear your thoughts on this one.
Would you?
Oh, absolutely, I would.
To get Tiffany over, it was a good match.
Yeah.
To get the women's title over, it wasn't a good match.
Huh.
And the reason I say that is because you would think that a person who's challenging for the title would demonstrate, something that's deserving to be in there, whereas this just kind of served as an enhancement match.
Yeah.
So, I'm always a person that, always say words matter, things matter, and stuff like that. And I remember we were talking about Mims versus, I don't remember who it was anymore, for the national title. And I had told somebody, I go, man, that would have made a great TV title match. As a national title match, not so much.
Okay.
And in this particular case, I was disappointed they put the 6:05 time limit on there, as I was kind of hoping they were dropping that just in general. And, the match was fine to get Tiffany over. They kind of need her to be over as a double champion. I hate the fact that she's a double champion, but,
Yeah.
If you're going to have it, then she needs to kind of be over as a badass. I would assume also that at some point they're going to put her back in the ring with the world champion. So I don't know if she'll get her best of 7 or something else will work out.
Well, that was one.
Yeah, so actually I think it was 2. I think there was one other. And be it 1 or 2, that's something that, we can look forward to. And we'll talk more about promoting a title match properly later.
Rick, what did you think?
I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. This really didn't do anything for me. Like I said, I felt like after Swan and Misery that the show kind of went downhill. That was the highlight, and there's no coming back after that. There was nothing that could beat that, and everything was kind of subpar. For me, if I can just say it straight out now, if you don't mind, like this was a very lackluster episode of Powerrr. All the matches, with the exception of the one that I just mentioned, just did nothing, absolutely nothing for me. I was not impressed. This one just kind of, it was there. It was happening. You know what I mean? It wasn't very convincing. It didn't seem like a lot of the fans were interested until the closing, like the closing submission either, it seemed.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of the fans were sitting on their hands. Now, maybe that's because this was like the 3rd week of Tampa TV.
Yeah. Well, yeah. People probably. I mean, I noticed that also on camera there was some empty seats as well. So I mean, going into that third to fourth hour, that when I was in New York for '77, around that time period, that's when a lot of seats started to empty because going after through, like by the time the video recording for the third or fourth week, it's people are tired. They want to go home.
And
So this, they're probably on their hands, and then they popped for the ending. That was it.
and the thing about it is too, it's like, the NWA. We kept trying to figure out, is this a TV company? Is this a touring company? What is the NWA? But the fact of the matter is, it's a TV company.
Yeah.
And they should take that knowledge that, hey, we care about the TV audience more than we care about the live audience. They should be filming these big matches, the championship matches, the important stuff early so that they have a big crowd for it and the crowd can pop for it. I get it. Like it will mess with the flow of the show if the main event is like, the TV title match or whatever. But, I feel like more people would be looking more energized on television if they broke it up that way. Dave Marquez, when he shoots TV, they do 4 matches with the main event. So you're getting a title match every 2 to 3 matches. There's a title match, and it kind of feels like the flow of the show goes better. And he'll put on the world title match, on the first week of TV because that'll look better for television. Something that they should at least consider.
I think Dave also knows how to put together a television show as opposed to Billy, who just overdoes it. And there's no reason why, really, if you think about it, they can't do shows in between it that are not TV tapings. But like you said, they're a TV company.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestling companies are now pretty much just TV companies without doing house shows and stuff like that,
And I will say this to what DK was saying earlier. Actually, this was Tiffany's first televised TV title defense, but she has defended the title at FWW, which is in Maywood, California. I have no idea what that is. She defended the title at NWA Chicago, and she's defended the title at DPCW NWA Texas twice. So she's had already 5 title defenses, but only one of them on Powerrr. And what do we know about the NWA and its Powerrr is that's it. That's the only thing that matters. So anything that happens off camera, I don't think will matter to the NWA in terms of that title situation. As that match ended, the next thing we get is a promo from Natalia Markova. It's the first time we've seen Natalia Markova outside of the dumb skits that she's been a part of. And she just comes right out and says, I want a chance. I want an opportunity. I want to face Kenzie Page. I've already beat your sister. I beat your boyfriend. Who else from Crossfire are you going to throw at me that I have to beat before I get my match? This was a very good promo, in my opinion, for Markova, who isn't normally known for having great promos. She was succinct. It was short. She got her message across. She got the point across. I applaud her for that. DK, your thoughts?
My thoughts are this is where their taping schedule hurts things.
Yeah.
Because this would have been great if I didn't know what the results were.
Yes.
And knowing what the results were, this was just kind of like, okay, yeah, so this is what they're doing to set it up.
Roll with it.
Yeah. One
of the things they keep doing is they keep talking about the 77th show as if it didn't already happen. Obviously, this was recorded, right? It was recorded before, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, stop talking about this event that's coming up, I guess, taping. But it's not like it's a pay-per-view. It's not like it's a television special. It's not like it's just another TV taping. It's not like it's this big event that's going to happen. All their events, signature events, whatever you want to call them, they're all just TV tapings now because they're just a TV company. So there's no reason to just keep saying they're basically advertising Rich Swann gets the shot at NWA 77. We already know that because it happened 2 freaking months ago.
Yeah.
We already know who won.
Exactly. It's just it's the I don't know what is in their mindset that it's just like it sounds ridiculous because every single wrestling fan that watches the NWA knows the NWA 77 happened. They already know the results, everything. So for them to continue with that kind of conversation just makes them look dumb. I think it's a stupid presentation on their part for the NWA.
Rick, real quick, if they don't know the results, what website can they go to get them?
Well, they can go to alliance-wrestling.com.
Hey, I think Jaden was setting you up to plug your website.
Yeah, but
I
I sent them to y'all, so
Well,
I get it.
Hey,
We are on the Alliance Guys podcast right now.
in the future, we could share. Like it's
I mean,
what you do is part of the alliance. So Pro Wrestling Wire, although we're not affiliated,
we're tag team partners.
There it is. That's a great way.
There you go.
Look, when someone comes to the YouTube page and they look at like who is, who do I promote on my page? It says Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. It says the Iconic Heroes of Wrestling Entertainment. It says Pro Wrestling Wire. And it says Soto 619 Wrestling. These are my boys, my compadres. So yes, anything I could ever do to help promote what you guys are talking about, for sure.
Same thing. Every time that I put up, I will write about the NWA on the Powerrr specifically. I say you can hear us talk about it on the. I close out the article, listen to us talk about it on and then put the link to the YouTube channel. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
You know what that
We're brothers. We're brothers.
That's symbiosis relationship there. We're helping one another. And someone needs to help the NWA. Because next
Very
up we
much
get
so.
the Kazanas, the country gentleman, not the Southern gentleman, Jaden. The country gentleman calling out the whole Crossfire family. Like, we know what this is leading to. Again, going back to the 77. This is leading up to that event. But Joe Kazana calls out Tommy Henry, calls out Tyler Franks, calls out all those guys to talk about having a match. And this was a lot of nothing, but I do love AJ Kazana on the mic. He has got the roughneck promo. I think he's money. I think that he should be carefully separated from the Kazanas, not because he doesn't love his brother or his papa, but because there's more opportunity for him to challenge for a singles title than it is being a part of a tag team. I like this AJ Kazana part of this promo, but that's about it.
I think AJ was gold here.
Yeah.
And like you said, separate him. I mean, I love Joe Kazana. I think he's a great talent. He's kind of ridiculous. He's funny in ways. His brother's he's like, I don't think he would, without being harsh. No, I'm being harsh. He would never make it anywhere if he wasn't a Kazana. Let's be honest. Like, he's just too, he'd be a jobber, like anywhere. He'd, that kind of a situation. If he even got lucky. But he's not convincing, not tough looking by any stretch. AJ Kazana is a phenomenal performer inside that ring. Great talker. I think, if he goes outside the NWA, he could really do something if he has that opportunity.
I would say that the problem with Casey Kazana is he's a lot vanilla. He's bland. And I feel like in time he could grow into being as good as AJ, but right now it's not even close.
There's no personality there, really.
100%.
So,
we always talk about how good Silas Mason is as a promo, and he could work anything into to get us interested in buying a ticket. That's AJ. AJ's getting to that level as well. And again, he's been kind enough to come on this show in the past. His papa's been on the show a couple times, but they don't owe me anything, and I don't owe them anything. Giving you 100% content here. AJ is money, and I think he should be booked as such. Casey, not so much. Jaden, what did you think about it? Did you listen to this one, or did you do the fast forward?
I did the fast forward. I like AJ, and I do believe AJ is a star. And I have talked to Dr. Zacconi, bringing him in for a future event. But I just didn't care about the promo, honestly. The whole, as soon as except for, like I said, the one where I ate my Rice Krispies through, I just pretty much fast forward through those type of things.
DK, do you have anything you want to add?
I thought you nailed it pretty well. I actually did watch it. I didn't care. It's funny because you were talking about we know where this goes to the, the thing of 77. And I thought to myself, wow, I've completely forgotten that there was a promotion match at the 77. And I couldn't tell you who won it. That's how unimportant this thing is.
That's how I don't even remember, and I was there. So, to be honest with you, so I'm really looking forward to eventually when that ends up on TV. I'm hoping that you guys see it was a great show in my opinion, with the exception of very few exceptions, and I'm just waiting for that stuff to come on.
That takes us to the main event. You've got Mims with no G's taking on Pope in a non-title match. And this match, I kind of go back and forth with it because, again, I'm a unabashed Pope supporter. I thought Pope in his first run with the National Wrestling Alliance was a blueprint of what you want from your television champion. Really just made it simple, stupid. It was can't miss TV. When the Pope was on the mic, he had your attention. When he'd wrestle, he usually had really solid matches. We haven't seen Pope in the NWA since 2023. It's been 2 years since we've seen the Pope in the National Wrestling Alliance. And when he faded to obscurity, he was teaming with JTG, Jay the God. They were a solid tag team. They were a fun tag team. But, he is here all by himself. He's here as a lone Pope. And, the storyline that I think they were trying to tell us here is that Mims has grown out of the need for a mentor. He didn't need the Pope. Pope left, and Mims had to figure things out on his own. And so now that the Pope's back, Mims doesn't have time to be celebrating the Pope because Mims is too busy worrying about Mims. And, it's almost like when you think about it, who's the heel in this? Because it should be Mims. But really all he's saying is like, look, man, you left, you did your thing, and now you expect to come back and be right on top of the card again. No, you got to work for it. So in some ways, Mims is the kind of like the face here. I didn't think he did anything in the match or during the promo that made him the heel here. And the fact that Pope went to get this match made, and he talked to Mr. William Patrick Corgan to get this match set up. And it was like, Corgan's like, yeah, you could have the match, but it's not going to be a title match. You haven't been here long enough. You haven't proven yourself again, which I like that.
Wasn't this his comeback match though for the NWA? Or he didn't wrestle prior? Okay.
No, this was his first match back, and it was a pretty high profile match. So they did give him that. They put him in this high profile match, and it didn't. I was surprised at the results. The Mims dominated the match. The Pope got in some offense, but this wasn't like a 50-50 booked match. In fact, I was surprised it went the way it did, because Mims looked more dominant throughout the entire match. Now, Pope did get the victory. He did hit those double knees in the corner, the Elijah Express, I think is what they called it when he was in the WWE. Got the victory, and moments after getting his hand raised in victory, gets attacked by Slade and Mondo with no real reason for that. And they even went to take him out with a chair to the knee. I got to ask you, Jaden, you're a fan of both Mondo and Slade. What sense did this make to you, and what did you think of the match?
I was first thinking maybe that Mondo thought that he's now being pushed to the back of the line because now that he got a non-title win, maybe if he takes out this challenger, then he gets the next win. And Pope's injured, so maybe that's what it was. He injured the new number one contender who won a non-title match. So that has to leave you now as the challenger. And Slade is just Mondo's
lackey.
Mini-me. So yeah, okay. That's what it is. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I that's giving way too much credit to Billy Corgan, but that's what I was thinking.
DK, what did you think?
All right, the match itself was a little bit weird, but I was okay with it in general. they were kind of pushing the idea that Pope had ring rust because apparently he hasn't wrestled anywhere since he's been gone from the NWA, which we all know he has, but that's not the narrative they were pushing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I kind of get it under that circumstance. He still managed to get the clean win, but it wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, well, you know, like Misery looked just as good in defeat considering everything, but I don't know that Mims looked just as good in defeat, even though he kind of dominated the match. It was kind of like, yeah, but you still couldn't put him away.
Yeah.
And so that was weird. I semi understand Jaden's philosophy or theory, I guess, because of the way things end up going. But no, the attack made no sense to me whatsoever. And so hopefully they'll explain it next week or something. I don't think they will, but hopefully.
Yeah.
With a wrestling show that makes sense, it would, but this is Billy Corgan, so.
Well, yeah, and that's the whole thing. And, you know, again, this is why sometimes it's like, did they change plans from in between the TV and the actual shooting? But we've been talking about this show way too long, so do you want to wrap it up?
Well, I just want to get your take on it, and then I'm going to get Rick's take on it, and then that's it. Then we're talking about the ticket sales.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh,
it's your turn, Rick.
This was a decent match. It wasn't to me. It fell short of any kind of energy, that these two gentlemen could put on. Because I mean, it's freaking the Pope, right? Like this guy, has put on some great matches. He was very important to the NWA, early Billy Corgan NWA. Mims, and this, I think I said one of the last times I was here that Mims has been on this lackluster type thing. It's like he's not very convincing after a while for somebody that's supposed to be a champion. And this match really, it didn't do it for me that much that it probably should have. This should have been, this was the main event of the television show, but it did not feel like a main event. It just kind of felt like subpar. It was like on paper, this should have been a phenomenal match, but it fell really short in my eyes.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I think that's pretty. Unfortunately, that's what it was. It had potential. It didn't realize its potential. Is what it is.
Yeah. And the run in at the end, like you said, it didn't make sense. But however, hopefully they're going to explain it, which would make sense in the typical wrestling world, and why Joe screaming, "What the hell's going on?" or whatever he was saying. We would get a perfect explanation the following week. Hey, we're here to destroy you, and you're not coming back. Blah blah blah. But we know that's also not true.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's power. Now it's in the trash. Let's talk a little bit about this upcoming signature live event. Even though that the NWA treats itself as a television first product, clearly they've been making announcements coming up for Samhain. It going back to what you were saying earlier, Rick, it's so weird because they're on TV, they're talking about 77. On social media, they're talking about Samhain. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If I'm an NWA fan, on TV, when I tune in on TV, we're talking about 77th anniversary show, which already happened 2 months ago. But then when you go to the social media, you're learning about what's happening for Samhain. So it is a very weird, confusing time for the NWA. And we
if you were just a regular person that happened to stumble across NWA Powerrr by accident, and you heard them talking about NWA 77, wouldn't you be like, oh, yeah, when is this? Right? I mean, they're talking about, they're hyping up NWA 77. And just back in the day, they didn't do that stuff. I mean, they would do TV tapings once a month or whatever and they just kept saying, we're going to be in your town, whatever date. Just keep advertising that date. Don't talk about the name, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, because it's just over time it's just gonna get confusing, I think.
And I feel like they should kind of maybe return to that, where let's not talk about what the next Signature Live event is on TV, and do like, run the like they, for a while there on X, they were doing this, and I liked it on X, and I wish they'd kind of bring it back for Roku. Is, here's where the NWA will be in the next few weeks, and you could literally pinpoint.
Yes.
They had
Yes.
what was her name? I know her name too, because she used to work for Dave Marquez.
Ashley
Marino
or Alyssa Marino.
Great voice.
Or Alyssa.
And she would make a great commentator if they ever needed to replace Joe Galley. She does great. She's fantastic.
She does a lot of things. She did some work out here for Blood, Sweat, and Tear Wrestling. My friend Harry's promotion, and I actually interviewed her right before her and Andy Brown together when they came in. Great people, by the way. She is a very, very talented lady. She did the advertisements, the merch advertisements with Danny Deals, and she's done a lot of great stuff. She's very multi-talented for the world of professional wrestling, journalism, and media.
Have those stopped also?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Have the merch advertisements stopped also?
Yes.
I didn't see that this week at all. Why would you not advertise merch?
Again, I wonder, some of these things, I wonder if it's part of I don't know if it's part of the deal they have with Roku, or if it's just they're stupid.
I think it's that.
Real quick, shout out Brian Clark. Hey, Ryan.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Brian Clark just entered the TikTok, so I want to say what's up, Brian Clark.
Oh.
Brian Clark as in
Adam Bomb?
Wrath? No. Mr. Brian Clark, hello. Night Stalker. Yes. So
replaced Razor Ramon in that, I think it was Battle Bowl. All right, go ahead, DK. Sorry.
I don't remember what I was talking about. But
merchandise and
merchandise. Merchandise.
My thing is, I guess I was saying, I don't know if it's something to do with their deal with Roku, because it seems to have stopped with that, or if they're just stupid. We kind of lean towards the stupid, and then I guess if it's part of their deal with Roku, that would still be stupid. So,
I mean, they're advertising events. I mean, wouldn't they be allowed to advertise their merchandise?
I would think so.
I mean,
but again, they've been using the same basic advertisements on their merchandise.
They were using merchandise ads that were a year old, recorded with people that aren't even in there anymore.
So, and CW, they still had CW on the background. So that's probably what's killed it more than anything.
Maybe you're right. All right. So, anyways, we're heading towards Samhain, the next Signature Live event. They've been talking about it on social media. The way that they've rolled out the announcements, I think, have been very interesting. I feel like it's been smart business, because they would throw up a picture of Shotzi Blackheart and say, "Hey, she's going to be at this event," and this is like a week ago or maybe a week and a half ago. And then just recently they showed, "Hey, Shotzi's going to be in the ring with Markova." Now, they're not advertising it as a title match, because, again, if it hasn't appeared on TV yet, it hasn't really happened. But we know that this is going to be a title match for Markova. Shotzi gets a shot at the Burke, and I feel like this is a very compelling match, because we know how crazy Markova can be in the ring, and getting a challenger with the reputation and the name value that Shotzi brings, I feel like that's another solid addition to the show. The other thing that I see on here that was just announced, I think today, that we have Kerry Morton taking on Daniel Fenrir. And Daniel Fenrir, we've seen him a few times on Powerrr, but I don't know why this particular match even got a poster, because I don't feel like this is not selling tickets. This isn't driving anyone to the venue, but it is announcing another match. So good for that. I think this will be a good fan favorite for a lot of the NWA fans. Having the Slime Balls take on the Holy Grail. The Slime Balls were kind of I know that they're from New York, but I feel like they've been very much a part of Exodus Pro. So for them to be in the ring with, EC3 and PB Smooth, I guess, is just another opportunity for PB Smooth and EC3 to get another victory. And working with the Slime Balls again, I feel like the Slime Balls are important to the future of the NWA. I don't know in what capacity, but I think it's a good idea. If these guys are going to be around, they're touring with the NWA, you got to give them some high profile matches too. So we got that announced, and then we know, interestingly enough, it wasn't announced as a tag team title match. It wasn't announced as anything yet, but we have the Page sisters being billed together. Look, Kenzie, former women's world champion, you would think she would garner enough attention by herself on the poster. They put her with her sister, which only leads me to speculate that instead of maybe the women tag titles being on the line, that we might get a matchup with the Page sisters taking on the Hex. Because we haven't seen any advertisement yet for TVMA. At least I haven't. And they haven't announced a matchup yet for them either. So
there's still 3 weeks worth of before it? When is it?
Well, yeah. So today is October 2nd, and it's advertised as, I believe, the 16th. Let me just throw up the.
Okay. Oh, so 2 weeks.
Yeah,
basically.
It's October 17th, which is a Saturday, in Center Stage in Atlanta. Now, the other part to that, real quick in the chat, Exodus Pro says, we love the Slimers. Okay, Exodus Pro, but who are you rooting for? The Slimers or the Holy Grail? Who are we really rooting for? Exodus Pro. I'm going to put the spotlight on you guys. But that also leads us to a conversation that isn't always fun, but DK, I'm sure you could explain a little bit more about it. The ticket sales. Now, traditionally, the NWA has had a pretty good walk up to most of these events, but we're heading into Center Stage in Atlanta, a historic wrestling venue. Jim Crockett Promotions filmed there, WCW filmed there, MLW is filmed there. United Wrestling Network has filmed there. It's been a pretty popular venue for pro wrestling. DK, tell us about what the sales are looking like at Center Stage.
All right. Now, the information comes from our good friend James H. Jackson Jr., who belongs to Patreon with WrestleTix. So, but according to their sources or whatever, the current setup for Center Stage is 772 seats, of which so far only 165 have been distributed. Now, the word distributed is important, as I always point out, because that doesn't necessarily mean sold. So if the wrestlers are allotted so many comps and blah this and blah that, those all figure out in the distributed because they can't sell the tickets that have been comped. And so they still have 607 tickets, and this is with 2 weeks to go. And yes, they do have a strong walk-up, but, they did not sell out at their last event, the 77. I know.
Far from it.
I know Brian Idol came and claimed they sold more tickets than there were seats because he's at like 900, and they were only set up for like 700 also. Yeah. And they did not sell out. They were about 100 short. And so you do have to wonder if they aren't hurt by the fact that they aren't promoting Chauncey versus Markova. Might make a fan go, oh. But I think Chauncey versus Markova for the World Women's Championship might make a fan go, oh.
Yeah.
You're shaking your head. Do you disagree or agree?
I disagree. I'm sorry.
You think that's better?
I don't think Shotzi. No, I just don't think Shotzi is going to be. I don't know how. I don't think she's going to draw attention. People are going to be like, "Oh, I got to get to
Well,
that show."
I think that was part of my thing. I'm saying if you just see it, she's going to be there, you might go, whatever. But if you're a fan, and she does have fans, I assume.
Yeah, I don't know how many,
you
but yes,
you might be more interested in going. You're
Yeah.
You're not billing the world title as a rematch that Latimer's getting his chance back, chance to win the title back. So we don't have any Thrillbilly promos going out there. We don't have any Latimer promos going out there because we can't, because they won't recognize title change. And even though any hardcore fan knows, the national titles changed hands, the tag team titles changed hands, and they can't bill any of these things as being title matches because they refuse to recognize it, which is one thing when back in the day when it took when they might record TV and have a title change or have a heel turn or something, and it would be a week before that hit TV.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was the same day, but sometimes it was a week. And so the house shows, the week before it hits TV, everything's back, the way it was. Champions are still defending their titles. The heel is still a face, and all that stuff. But again, that was like 1 week, and you didn't have the internet. And so people didn't know anything. But you can't go 2 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
Sure. And ignore it and promote your show, and you can't promote title matches because you can't say who the champions are because of you're living in some stupid kayfabe world that your fans aren't living in.
Yeah.
So I think that's hurting them personally, literally, because that was over 2 months ago the title changed hands, and Tom is still the champion on TV.
He's not still the champion on TV. He's the champion in social media. When they go up,
only in their social media, everybody in the world knows that he lost the belt.
But when they're talking about what, I guess they did those other shows or whatever, and they're saying, come see world champion Tom Latimer. Come see world tag team champions Murdochs.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And it's very possible those people are actually showing up with the belts.
Yeah, no, they are.
And so, so it's like they've already got the title changes, but they still have, and they've done this before. They did this when Rock and Roll Express won the tag team title. They had advertised the title match with what were they called? Wild card?
Yep.
Wild card taking place somewhere in Wisconsin or Michigan or somewhere in the Midwest. And so even though they had posted pictures of the Rock and Roll Express with the tag team belts, Wild Card showed up, a month after losing the title with the tag team championships to defend them. And it's just like, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Jaden, what's happening?
What's happening? What
do you think about what we talked about, Jaden? You've been kind of quiet.
Sorry, I'm very tired. It's a long day. Having to carry the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators on the back and then have to carry this podcast on my back too wears you out. Just kidding, guys. I hate that they don't acknowledge the championship. I hate their taping schedule. I think they should go to a 2-week schedule if they're not going to do anything weekly live. Maybe even if the worst case scenario, a month in advance, do 4 or 5 tapings a month. But I just hate it. And they just either that or they just have to completely eliminate all fans and just have plants, and then nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, there you go.
So what's next in the NWA?
Well, I mean, that's kind of it for our NWA discussion. I mean, they did have some live events over the past weekend. We could talk about the results of that if you guys want to, but again, it's kind of like it's interesting, or maybe it's just weird that these matches are happening, but they don't acknowledge them, on television. So, kind of going back to what DK was saying, like, yeah, they did have events this weekend, and so Tom Latimer was defending his title. Let's see, on tour, right? So that they were in. Oh, you know what? They have some results for Riot Fest too. I didn't see those before, but they have the NWA on tour in Chicago, and the Cloud9 Cowboys had another match up in New York. They took on Jay Macias and Pat Fitzpatrick. You had Alvin Alvarez defeat Rex Lawless. The Firework defeated Danger Ross. Wrecking Ball Legursky defeated Papa Don. Natalia Markova defeated Kylie Page. Brian Idol defeated Rage. The Slime Balls defeated Skull and Bones. And Tom Latimer defended his World's Heavyweight Championship against Joe Ocasio. And also on the part of that tour, they were in Melville, New York. They had the Graveyard Disciples, who I'm not familiar with, defeated Danny Storm and Johnny Rambeau. Brian Idol and Alvin Alvarez went to a time limit draw. Papa Don defeated Colin Parker. TJ Marconi, a name out of the past, defeated Rex Lawless. And then Jovi Cruz and the Slime Balls defeated Cody Bucket, Joey Conway, and Kenny Miles. Natalia Markova defended the CEP women's title against Kylie Page. Wrecking Ball Legursky defeated El Terrifico. And in a CEP tag team title match, Joe Ocasio and Tom Latimer defeated QGTM, Jay Macias and Pat Fitzpatrick, to win the titles. So now Tom and Joe Ocasio are your CEP tag team champions, further solidifying the relationship between CEP and the NWA. Perhaps maybe that will lead to a working relationship between, maybe there already is a working relationship, but maybe they'll be joining the NWA at some point as a territory. But that's kind of it. Like, there's not a whole lot else to talk about.
Does NWA Chicago still run, or are they dead?
Yeah, no, they still run. They're. I mean, I could list the live events that are coming up real quick. We have this actually tomorrow. The Fallout is NWA Chicago. You have scheduled to appear Mario Pardua, the Polish Power, the Chicago heavyweight champion. You got Markova on the card, former world heavyweight champion Trevor Murdoch, Aaron Stevens, Brian Idol, Daisy Kill. That's happening tomorrow. Black Harvest, which is the annual Halloween themed event for NWA Crossfire, featuring Juventud Guerrera, Rosemary from TNA, Rich Swann, Ken Anderson. That's interesting. Markova can't be in two places at once, so she's in Chicago on the 3rd, so maybe she'll be at Black Harvest on the 4th. And then Juventud Guerrera, who is the champion for Crossfire. Then World League Wrestling has their event taking place in Troy, Missouri. It's called Brawl Hallows Eve 2, and that's taking place on Saturday. You've got the Blazing Guns, the WLW World Tag Team Champions, Jeff Wild, the Devils of War, Raheem De La Suede, and Skylar Sparks. Missing on that poster would be Carson Drake, who is the WLW champion. And then Hexodus Pro happening next week, which is an NWA Exodus Pro event featuring Dante Casanova defending his Midwest Championship against J-Rock, Marty Bell, EC3, Pretty Boy Smooth, Calvin Tankman, LJ Clearly, and more. And then more tapings happening on October the 11th in Texas for NWA Texas at the Forney Arena, the Innovation Arena. And then on October the 18th, the day after Saw Win, the NWA returns to partner with Fight the World Wrestling and scheduled to appear Brian Idol, Daisy Kill, Mike Mondo, Markova, and the stars of FTW.
Fun.
So yeah.
So I'm on the National Wrestling Alliance website right now.
Yeah.
On their live events. And so this is what we're talking about when we're talking about their stupidity. So this is literally what they have scheduled to appear for Samhain 3.
Samhain
3. I know. I kind of do it on purpose sometimes. I always think back to Halloween, the original movie.
Sure.
NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Tom Latimer versus Silas Mason.
Yep.
NWA World Women's Champion Kenzie Page and Sister Kylie Page.
Yep. Which
always makes me think of League of Their Own. This is our daughter Dottie, and this is our other daughter, Dottie's sister. NWA World Tag Team Champion Trevor Murdoch versus Hammerstone. NWA World Television Champion, which is true, Brian Idol versus Rich Swann. Women's World #1 Contender, Crush Markova versus Chauncey. And of course, Immortals versus BFT. The Southern Six will be there. I like how they already mentioned Silas above, but now they're talking about the Southern Six. So in NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion Alex Taylor with his co-NWA US Tag Team Champion partner Kerry Morton. Kerry Morton's getting a little bit of the Dottie sister treatment here.
Yeah, yeah.
The Complete Matt Cardona. When did he change his name to The Complete?
That's recent.
Okay, I missed it. And so former tag team champions, the Hex, current women's tag team champions, television's most attractive. National champion Mims is going to be there. Okay. Overlord, EC3, and Pretty Boy Smooth. And Carson Bartholomew, Drake, and the Slime Balls. And of course, we already know about the
Sounds like you're getting tired just reading the list.
Well, it's just ridiculous that this is what they have.
Yeah.
I mean, just 100% ridiculous. This is their answer to, this is them promoting a show, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, about half of the matches or statements or who's going to appear are wrong. And then they wonder why they've only distributed 165 tickets, which, I mean, maybe they're not wondering. But why don't they fix it, Rick? Why? Why don't they fix it?
They're dumb. Because Billy's an idiot. He's right and we're wrong, apparently. But I am convinced that he listens to us. So maybe he'll listen eventually. That he's an idiot and that he is... there's just so many different things that are wrong with the National Wrestling Alliance. And that, right there, that. I don't know if he thinks it's a great idea to let's keep it just until it airs on TV. The whole world knows, except for people that follow us on Twitter and people that watch NWA and Roku. It's ridiculous. I don't know what he believes in, what he thinks is going to be great, why he does it. It's just, he's an idiot. That's my answer. I don't know what. I don't think and I think we've said this before. Maybe he doesn't belong in professional wrestling. Take it, pull back, just be an owner and let somebody else run the show so that it can be run properly. Somebody that has experience in professional wrestling. You working for TNA, being a jackass on TV, and then you just deciding to, hey, I'm going to buy the NWA and tarnish those 3 letters over a 20-year period. Well, actually, he did it in shorter.
6 years.
But, yeah, his 20-year plan is turned to 6. But,
oh, wait.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, it started about 2 years ago when the name really started to get tarnished. So, but yeah,
the thing about it is, when you look back at during the throughout the history of wrestling, yes, sometimes promoters and bookers were the same person.
Sure.
But a lot of times they weren't.
it's not going to work. He's a rock star. Just be a musician and a business owner. You don't have to be on the creative end of things because obviously you're not. Your creativity belongs with you touching a guitar and singing, not with the world of professional wrestling.
I think you can give an overarching view. I think you can go, I'd like to build what's his name? AJ Casano winning the world title within a year or so. And, I really like, Bob the Builder as a TV champion. And, let's switch around the TV championship every 2 months. And, here are the next 4 people that, maybe should hold it or whatever. And then you let the booker take the ideas and then, take the rock diamond and then cut it and buff it and shine it and make it into something. And, they have to have the ability to sit there and go, well, I don't know if Slime Ball Sage is a good choice for the TV champion, or the national championship or whatever. They need to be able to say that and give their reasoning, and a smart person listens to somebody who maybe knows more about the business than they do. But, I mean, that's not Billy. That's not Tony Khan. Vince had those people, and then he just ignored them.
That's why I stopped watching wrestling, to be honest with you.
That's one of my
I'm
favorite.
forced to for this podcast each week.
Sorry. One of my favorite Jim Cornette stories is talking about going to see Bruce Pritchard when he first started, working on the creative or whatever. And he went to see Bruce, and Bruce was golfing or bowling or doing something. I don't remember what. And Jim's like, well, I thought we were supposed to do it. Do this. He goes, well, look, we could get together and work things out and then waiting for some events and have him tear them all up and you replace them with his own ideas. Or we can say we got together, we worked, here's a basic plan, and then let Vince, do it or whatever. So the idea was, okay, we could work or we could just pretend to because it's not going to matter.
Right.
And if Billy was smarter than Tony, Billy would go, I need a real booker. And I mean, at this point, I think Jay could book better.
Luthez, thank you. Support Herb Simmons. Herb is a great guy. And WLW does run decent shows from what I've seen. I watch their TV on a semi-regular. Herb Simmons, Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, great product if you can. Their TV airs every Sunday night on YouTube. So anybody that wants good old-fashioned territory-style wrestling, go ahead, watch it.
So I think we're getting close. No, you're good. I think we're going to get close to wrapping it up for tonight. I think, this wasn't a great episode of Powerrr. They had a pretty good string of them coming off of Crockett Cup. Even the first, I think, 2 TV tapings in Tampa were really solid. And although I think we could all agree that we enjoyed the Rich Swann and Alex Misery match, it kind of fell off after that. But we do have a video to play of our friends over at Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, and we'll be playing that right now.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place, and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear.
Oh, that came on too quickly. Whoops. Whoops. Now I can't even get this off. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. We're still ironing out the kinks over here. We're trying, but
and I was going to ask you how it was going.
it went pretty decent for mostly, but gotta learn the new system. Jaden, where can folks check out Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators and tell us a little bit about the event you had today?
Well, let's start off with the event they had today. We had a bunch of matches at the Rowan College of Burlington County. Really good wrestling event from top to bottom. There's definitely only really talented professional wrestlers on this card and none that didn't deserve to be there. I had a lot of fun. The fans had a lot of fun. I think I got sunburned.
Oh, no.
And I just realized now, I think I'm sunburned. But if you want, I don't have the matches in front of me because I can't seem to be able to pull them up on my phone and talk to you guys at the same time. But I'm going to try to do this by memory. So the first match, if I remember correctly, if you can pull it up, Jay, or if you want to pull it up so I can
I can read the results if you want me to. I have them in front of me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Adrian Soriano defeated Anthony Bennett.
That's Ant Bennett. He was in the Cruiserweight Classic for the WWE. Both work at the Monster Factory. Very good match. I enjoyed that a lot.
Silver Lobo defeated Adam Bizarre, and this was their rubber match.
They fought twice at the Monmouth University. This is the third meeting between the two, and they were going in 1-1 when they came into this. Silver Lobo, very popular with the fans. They love the anime theme that he tries to do when he yells out "Your Sengun" and other things he does anime. They enjoyed it. It was a good match. And Silver Lobo, have no fear, Silver Lobo won that match.
Real quick, Luthez says, "Love me a Silver Lobo promo."
In Spanish or English, because they're both on there. If you have a Dog Pro page.
Primal Fear successfully defended the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Tag Team titles against the Controlled Chaos in a high-flying encounter. Now, I actually watched this one because someone from Dog had it going on the Dog TikTok channel, so I was able to see this one live. I was literally in the middle of my workout today. I was on the treadmill, actually coming to the close of my workout, and I got to watch this match. It was very entertaining, and I'd like to see more of Primal Fear because I think that's maybe the second match I've seen of theirs. I think the first one was when they won the title, so it was kind of interesting to see them in action.
Yeah, and this is their fourth defense. They defeated Dave Dahl and Dylan Mesh to win the tag championships. They defended twice against the Shot Callers and once against the Liberty Bros, and this is their fourth championship defense. The Papa Juice, formerly known as Kid Chaos, is now known as Papa Juice, and his son Kid Chaos are the tag team of Controlled Chaos, and they were very tough challengers for Primal Fear, but they did come out victorious.
Well, that's good. Getting back to more of the results, the president of professional wrestling, Eddie Hawkins, got a victory over Tough Love Tommy Hartfelt.
Yeah, he narrowly got enough of the electoral votes to come out victorious.
Mawa the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Alliance Championship was defended. Doesn't happen often in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, but Big Gold defended his title against Connor Schaefer, and then post-match, Dylan Mesh, Vinny Fixer attacked Billy Gold, and tell us a little bit about that.
Big Billy Gold's a big boy. He kind of has a southern redneck thing going, and Connor had a good showing, but Billy came out victorious. But after the match, Dylan tacked Big Billy Gold, and then Vinny the Fixer came out. They both held Big Billy Gold's arms, and Vinny the Fixer took out the brass knucks and just knocked him out, left him laying in the ring.
Not a good for him. Not a good night for him. Most marketable, Richard Holiday picked up a victory over Pat Dynamite.
Pat Dynamite is the local RCBC kid. He really gave a good showing. The difference maker was Rich Holiday's finishing maneuver that we saw earlier when he was hyping this podcast. And the fans really were into it. They did really well. Some kids were playing basketball, and Holiday got pissed, so he went out and started grabbing the basketball, and he took a shot and missed it. A complete miss of that air ball. And then I was expecting him to kick the ball into across the campus or something like that, but instead he just went back in and wrestled some more. Almost got pinned because as he was worried about that, he walked in the ring and got small package by Pat Dynamite and almost came out victorious. Pat did, but again, it was the difference maker was that big devastating finishing hold. After hitting that with the ref's back turned, he hit him with another maneuver and got the 1-2-3.
That takes us to Samuel Thompson defeating Montilla the Killer. That's a great name, Montilla the Killer.
Yes.
That
was a fun match. The fans were into Montilla a lot. Of course, it was Valerie Verman that helped Samuel get that victory. And they're a dangerous duo. They have to find a way. I don't know what they do to Dr. Zirconium. They get booked one right after another in the same card. They're just like, there's one and then there's the other. But they're a dangerous duo to be put in that ring together. And with side by side, they make sure that they come out with the winner's end of the purse.
That brings us to the World Women's Grand Prix Championship. Valerie Verman defending her title against Tiffany Grady.
World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's Championship. Tiffany Grady is one of the top contenders. Really good matchup. When they actually referee got caught Samuel trying to interfere, but he didn't actually interfere yet. Tiffany Grady actually knocked the crap out of him. And then the referee threw him, actually, before she even had a chance to knock the crap out of him, referee threw him out of the building, or I guess out of the open air outside venue. And I guess instead of throw him out of the building, tried to throw him into the school. So he was away from the match. But while he was doing that, and Tiffany beat the crap out of him, hit him to knock him down. Valerie Verman grabbed the World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's Championship, hit Tiffany Grady with it, and when the referee turned returned around, Valerie used that championship to her advantage and got the 1-2-3.
That brings us to Falaba.
Falaba.
That's what I said, Falaba.
You call him Falabala all the time.
It's because I'm dumb, I guess. With Dylan Mesh, and do you want to talk about that one?
Falaba, Dylan Mesh had a good showing again. Took Falaba to the limit, but Falaba hit that big splash from that corner, got that 1-2-3. Connor came out, and Dylan and Connor were actually attacking, but Falaba was fighting back by himself. Then here comes Vinny the Fixer again. When Vinny the Fixer got there, he was the equalizer. And once again, they held their Falaba's arms. Dylan and Connor held Falaba's arms, and Vinny the Fixer pulled out those brass knucks and knocked him in the next week.
Then we've got, speaking of Vinny the Fixer, he's defending his title against I read that wrong, unkillable Mark Raspa, and sounds like he got some comeuppance as well.
Yeah, actually, Mark Raspa, he gave Vinny everything, and there was many times where he looked like he was going to win if it wasn't for the interference of Dylan Mesh and Connor Schaefer. And then all of a sudden, Billy Gold and Falaba come out and try to even the odds, and they fight to the back. They chase those guys to the back, and Mark again. He came real close to winning, but that great equalizer, and I have to say allegedly, because Vinny has threatened to sue me if I say anything otherwise in the match. But allegedly, he won that match with brass knuckles.
Then that takes us to the main event where the World Wrestling Grand Prix Championship was on the line. David Goldie fought against the Spartan Pitbull Nikos Ricos in a what they're saying was one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah, very, very good match. If you're into just good action, that was a very good match. Spartan Pitbull Nikos Ricos he is as talented in the ring as his gear is ugly. He actually made a list for what culture for one of the ugliest gear in professional wrestling.
That's amazing.
But that match was very good. If you're into that very good wrestling action, David Goldie's so talented, and Nikos is a underappreciated talent who's starting to finally get some notice. And that match put a good spotlight on both wrestlers, but David Goldie came out victorious, and I mean he's on a streak too. I mean, he won that championship against Chris Steeler. He defeated Donovan Dijak. He defeated Pat Sawyer, big 7-foot tall Native American. He defeated Dylan Mesh. He defeated Connor the Flag Boy. He defeated Nick Camarado, and now he's got this big victory over Nikos Ricos. He's just on a streak. Oh, and can't forget about Rhett Titus too. Right. So he is on a streak since World Wrestling Grand Prix Championship. He's won it, and I think right now the sky is the limit for David Goldie and his amazing wrestling ability.
Sounds good. And again, that's available. You can check it out. Go to the Dog YouTube channel. If you don't know where that's at, if you go to the Alliance Blog YouTube channel, it's linked as one of our co-conspirators. You can just check out the content right there. Click onto their link to find it. We're going to wrap this thing up real soon, but Rick, I want to give you an opportunity to put over something. What do you got coming up next, Rick?
Tomorrow I will be talking with Izzy Sanchez. He's been wrestling around here for about a good 10 or so years, trained under Kevin Landry, and then has worked for Paul Roma and Mario Mancini a number of years on and off. And we've become pretty friendly, and I finally, after about 10 years of knowing him, that I will have him on the podcast. And I think, and then this Sunday, I'll be talking to Buzz Bloodsaw. He will be returning second time on the podcast, my good buddy. So we're looking forward to that one, catching up with him and saying what he's got going on in the next couple of weeks. He just came back for wrestling in, was it Panama? He went for the Olympic tryouts recently, and I believe it was judo. Something like that. So I'm sure I'll get the story straight before Sunday, I promise. And then he's going to be heading out of the country again for a second round of qualifiers, and for that as well. So we're going to be talking about that, and of course his professional wrestling that he's had going on in around the country in Canada for the last few months since the last time I had him on.
Cool. DK, you have anything you want to add? I'll take that as a no.
Is he asleep?
Hey, no.
Oh.
He was on mute. He was on mute.
Anything you want to add?
I have a meeting with the building tomorrow, and I have something else up my sleeve. So
right.
Keep your ears open.
Love to hear
Absolutely.
it. Jaden, is there anything else that you want to talk about with Dog, or is that it for now?
That's it for now.
All right.
Actually, real quick, we're doing the South Jersey Geek Fest on October 25th. It's just a table, but come check us out.
There you go. We're going to do a promo battle contest?
No, that's the Nerf Force Fan Fest.
All
What's
right.
your fest right?
Here's what I'm doing this weekend. I'll be heading down to Tijuana yet again to check out The Crash, which is going to feature Daga making his return. Initially, it was supposed to be advertised for the event was Andrade, but I don't know if he's going to show up now that he just returned with AEW. And then on the very next night in Long Beach, California, at the Thunder Studios, the former home of Championship Wrestling, I will be checking out MLW, my very first MLW event. They're going to be out here in LA. I'm going to check it out so I can finally say that I've been to an MLW show. And I know that's going to be very heavy with the Lucha Libre talent from CMLL. So I feel like I'm getting it 2 nights back to back. So I'm very excited about that. Real quick, Lutha says, I can finally see the UWN on Saturday nights. But that's also the same bell time as SICW. Hey, man, you go watch the live wrestling. You can always check out.
Yeah, there's this thing called the DVR, you know.
DVR or even on YouTube that you can watch Championship Wrestling as well.
Every Sunday at 1 p.m. I watch it here, the Championship Wrestling. So
James H. Jackson's bringing up UWN is also in his area over the antenna, and Gotham Wrestling, which will be coming out soon too. Our own Rick Del Santo will be at that Gotham show. At some point down the road, your Jay's going to try to get out there to a Gotham show, but it won't be this year. It'll probably be spring of 2026.
You gotta stop through New Haven first. You come through New Haven. We'll drive up there together. I'll take you on a pizza tour in New Haven before we go to New York.
You might be onto something. The kids, the wife and the kids, we're going to try to do something in the springtime where we go into New York. What would be the ideal weekend for me is Gotham Wrestling in New York, maybe a baseball game, Mets, Yankees. I don't care. I just want to see baseball.
It's a college town, by the way, Nyack, New York, where Gotham is going to be running. So it's not it's not like New York City or anything like that, you know.
And then the idea is to go to Canada, go north of the border, go visit good friend Tim Wood and Reluca, the Reluchador, and maybe hopefully plan something where like maybe Maple Leaf is running that weekend as well, and just getting like as much as I can in like 3 or 4 days. Anyways, that's awesome. The dream. Don't know if it'll happen, but all right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week, this night. We appreciate you hanging out with us. And until next time, we'll see you at the matches. Of course, it'd be a lot cooler if it was playing audio, but thank you for tuning in to the Alliance Guys podcast, the presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. Join us each and every Thursday. Talk all things NWA. And until next time, we'll see you at the matches.